good to be here again. And but you know, it feels good to be kind of in the rhythm of the season, and certainly appreciative of what the guys did Saturday. It you know, had a lot of ebbs and flows to that game, but you know, we talked about going down and playing 60 minutes, and we used all 60, but we were able to come away with a win. And you know, I think that it truly, when you look at the film, every group contributed to that win, and you know, obviously it was a game with big plays, and you know, we've got to do a better job in special teams and defensively, and not giving up those big plays. And when you get a chance to get them on offense, you got to be able to capitalize them. So certainly things that all three phases need to clean up. Everyone you know, realizes where we've got to get better, and you know, some of the things that we got to continue to keep doing that we're doing well, but need to improve on. So much like any game, you know, film's never as good or never as bad as you may think, but there's always room for work and improvement.
How much does Saturday's high score speak to the need for defensive improvement, and how much does it speak to just the way college football is played these days?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak more about the first one. We got to get better, you know, defensively, and you know, there's certainly areas. You know, I think a couple of them is, you know, big plays, you know, came by. You know, there's a couple where guys see a void in the defense. You know, guy that does, and he tries to overcome that, and then in return he gets beat, so he's not doing his job. You know, a couple of big plays. I thought the throw and catch down their sideline, you know, that's a good football play. You know, clearly, you know, we didn't tackle on some of those very well. You know, so there's things we got to clean up. It starts with me, and it starts with, you know, coaching, and then the players got to go do it. So you know, obviously you don't feel good, you know, giving up that many points, but and then when, not just saying this to try to make everyone feel part of it. We don't win that game without some of those plays. You know, I mean, the first two drives, you know, start with you know, interception, and then we start the second half, you know, very strong three, and then you know, obviously gave up some plays. I thought the one crossing route, they hit the tight end on the action, you know, put it right over our backer, and you know, we're in a defense where there's not a lot of overlap. So some of it's football, and certainly there's enough that we've got to take ownership of and clean up.
Was that performance, I mean, especially discouraging after it looked like you guys had cleaned some stuff up against New Mexico?
You know, I mean, when you play, it doesn't matter where you're at. No one wants to be, you know, that part of that. But you know, it's such a different game. You know, New Mexico, you know, two different teams. You know, it didn't feel like, you know, that there's necessarily a carryover, and I don't think necessarily there's, you know, we got to be better. But that's the beauty of the game in football, is that each week's a new week.
Well, how much of that is just when your offense is scoring, you know, quickly like that, your defense doesn't get much of a break, and they're right back out there. I mean, how much and you don't want to complain if you're scoring,
right?
You know, if you're scoring like that, but I mean, does that play a factor, or can you just get sort of lured into games like that when there's so much back and forth?
Yeah, I think a lot of factors come into play, all of which, you know, you got to coach into too. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're on a short field, doesn't matter if you're in a long field, but absolutely, you know, the momentum of a game is real. And you know, I thought a great example was, you know, in the end of the third quarter, the beginning of the fourth, you know, offensively, you know, we don't do anything to, you know, get the momentum back, you know, to let it just kind of settle down a little bit. You know, we didn't convert on third downs, you know, up until the end of the game. But you know, everyone, you know, special teams did nothing to alleviate the defense. You know, we didn't play off each other in the sense of if one side of the ball, the team is struggling, you know, pick them up. We didn't do that, and therefore it became, you know, the type of finish that it was. You know, I thought, you know, we did for a second. I thought, you know, Ray Venable made 2 great plays. You know, wet field, those conditions, and you know, get the onside kicks. And those were big plays, but then we didn't do anything with that. So we got a lot of stuff we got to keep working on. But I love the way that the guys competed. You know, and just kept playing. And, you know, get to play a game into this week. Looking forward.
At the same time, you know, obviously you mentioned about defensive improvements, but are we in an era of college football where you have to be prepared to be in shootouts every week with these type of scores every week, or do you not look at it that way?
I mean, I don't think I've done anything to deserve being the spokesman for college football. I do think that it's our job to make sure that whatever the game is, we are prepared to be able to win it. So if it's a shootout, we've got to be prepared to be able to win it. You know, if it's a bad condition, we've got to be prepared to win it. You know, but I think that's the way that I think I choose to look at it. But you know, I think both of you guys are right. I mean, it is different. You know, I mean, these aren't as shocking as maybe they would have been 10 years ago.
Duke had a lot of speed on offense. How much did that disparity play into 55 points?
Well, I mean, you know, he was fast enough to run away from us, you know, in angles and where we're at. I think a lot of it is, you know, and maybe this is kind of piggybacks, you know, what we were talking about earlier, is that, you know, when you do spread it out, you have less guys that are an ability to overlap, you know. And by overlap, I mean, you know, kind of second line, third line of defense. So maybe that all has to play in it. I mean, they got good players, and, you know, every team we're going to play is going to have good players, and going to be fast, and some won't be big, and some are big and fast. We just got to play. You know, we got to know who we are, play to our strengths, and you know, we got to get better there.
What are your strengths on defense?
Well, I mean, we got guys that have, you know, certainly played some games, and you know, I think if you're going to say what are your strengths, your defense, I'd start up front. You know, there and now. I think he's an active player, and continue to play, and you know, you get to where you never take him for granted, but you know, if we're going to be good, he's got to make those plays. You know, I think that you know, we've got the ability to. I thought it was a heck of a pick that K1 and Jason had. You know, Jason's got a nose for the ball. You know, I think we've got some guys, and we just got to, you know, kind of rein it back in, and obviously we got to play better. But you know, I think our guys compete, play hard. You know, we're gonna keep grinding away. It's a good group. You know, that part I don't second guess.
Well, what about Virginia? I mean, you know, they have a good win, then a tough loss, and then, you know, obviously sort of got going again last weekend. I mean, what do you make of this one?
Well, certainly, you know, just starting to, you know, get a look at it. You know, spend time yesterday on our game, and then, you know, try to watch all 3 phases just to get a feel. You know, first impressions are, you know, certainly they look to be very, you know, athletic to me. You know, and they got some, you know, good size offensively and defensively, and obviously then you're going to get that on your special team. But you know, I think they're, you know, good-looking team. You know, they played, you know, different types of games. I mean, it was a hard-fought game against BYU, and they found a way to win at the end. You know, I've been in those, you know, games with Oregon, and those games can kind of get away from you fast. Defensively, they've been great on third down. You know, they got things. You know, they had a bye week, and then kind of got going again. So we got the running game going. You know, I think they're a good team. Obviously, you know, you respect your opponent, and we've got to be better. I think if we're going to win Saturday.
The Watford's their quarterback. quarterback, and then he got off to a rough start, but it seemed like it ran him a little bit more, encouraged him a little bit more against VMI and go downfield. And what you have seen, you see them starting to open things up for him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can see he's certainly talented. That long throw, I mean, he's an easy thrower. I mean, you can tell that he's got an arm, and obviously, when you do see him, running, he looks dangerous. And I think they got a couple good backs. I think their offensive line's good. And they've got production on their tight ends. I mean, I think they've got banking to it. It's a new offensive coordinator, it's a new quarterback. They're trying to, I'm sure like we are, trying to figure out exactly who we are, but I think they can be really dangerous.
When you evaluated the film from Saturday, what stood out about Tom? Just how he played?
I thought he played well. Thought he made good decisions. Thought he had some poise. I like the way he played.
When a guy like him has such a big arm, that has to open up your playbook to one different dimensions, doesn't it?
If you got guys on the other end of it, it does. I mean, we've been around some guys with a big arm, but I think that's where certainly Devin Tyler's been playing well. Spoon made some plays for us. Tight ends are starting to contribute. I think that you got to have, you can't, one without the other doesn't do you any good. I thought our protection was pretty good. I know we got beat at the end on the one inside move, but I thought protection was good. On the one touchdown, Scotty, they brought pressure and guys handled it pretty well. So I think it's all, you got to have everyone that be good, but certainly, absolutely, he does have an arm that can, if you've got guys who are depending on defense, he can get to all spots on the field. That does help.
Have you seen an impact of hitting some of those deep passes, either loosening things up for the running game or opening shorter things up?
I thought early in the game, in the middle of the game, it was helpful, but we didn't really run the ball well in the fourth quarter. I think the game situation, contributed, but we've got to be much better there. But yeah, I think if you can do both well, it does help. I think it helps both ends. I mean, if you can run the ball, it's going to help you in the throw game, and obviously if you can throw it, it's going to loosen it up a little bit, and then you can run the ball. I think that we saw that a little bit on Saturday.
Bob, you notice a difference in the way teams are scheming Tyler as opposed to Duke? They gave him maybe a little more attention than maybe Florida State did.
No, and I think you really probably don't get a feel for that until if you're going to play a team again. You know what I mean? Or if you had a like team that you saw them play previously in your studies. You know what I mean? I can't say that I've noticed Duke didn't do something out of character, that we hadn't seen. No.
This was the first game where there was a little bit of a disparity in terms of the running back carries, what led to James sort of getting the lion's share on Saturday.
I thought he ran pretty well and earned right for more carries. I didn't think Isaac was bad. I thought both of them had some good runs. Both of them missed some runs. But I think the way the game goes, you're not going to take a guy out. James got out in one drive. He had 3 back-to-back good runs. But that's going to be kind of the way the season goes.
Is he faster than? For a guy that size, that burst through when there is a hole there. It seems like he moves quicker than he looks. I guess.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Well, you look at him. He's 235 pounds, and you think, okay,
right.
But he
there's
a burst.
And it's hard for me because you're with him, right. So he's not a stiff, he's big, but I think he's an athletic player, but it's not different than what you're seeing, so it's hard to. I'm glad he's able to make some guys miss. He's done some pretty athletic things.
What do you see with problems behind the kickoffs, the extra point?
You know, the one, I think he just missed the extra point, and then the block, I mean, really, he just didn't get it up. You know, and you look and you know, point of contact wasn't different, you know. So we gotta kind of just help him through that and see him, and he hadn't done that much. You know, that was one of the things that, thought he did a pretty good job of was, the ball coming up, and then so I think he just mishit it.
The shot looks just a wet ball.
It contributed to it, but he's got to catch that.
Well, on the extra point, it looked like the laces weren't turned. Was that?
No, you're right on that. But he still should make it. Yeah, they were right opposite. It was a little bit of a high snap. Yak did a good job getting down on. The shorter kicks, you just got to get it down. The laces shouldn't matter.
You talked a lot about Connor and Boyd and how they transitioned as freshmen. Is Blewett maybe is his transition? Has he hit some rough patches at times, or maybe has that one been as difficult as some of the other guys, or maybe more difficult?
I think certainly his position is certainly more. When he misses an extra point, everyone knows. Tyler misses a block or James misses a cut. Not many people. Geez, I can't believe he didn't take that run back. I can't believe Tyler, didn't get to the safety on that. But everyone knows when he missed an extra point. I thought he did a great job, on the kickoffs. So I think probably more, and that's his world. He's got, he's got to deal with that. But I think that if you were to say, of Tyler's first 100 plays, James's first 100 plays, and Chryst's, I bet you both have had, or all three have had, probably similar types of plays you went over, and similar number of, well, that's a big time play. So I don't think it's anything, just more noticeable.
How are things from an injury standpoint coming off the game?
What's going on here now? We just keep changing this. I know, it's the seat.
It's that seat, yeah.
Okay. All right. Speaking to the seat, we'll kind of see where guys are at with, Gabe didn't finish the game, Roberts. We'll see. Right now, report's pretty good, but we got kind of Neil coming in, guys that came in yesterday that played, but we got a couple that we're going to kind of wait and see, or have to wait and see this week. Kind of where they go, if they can do anything Tuesday. Murph didn't play, but we should have. But we thought we had a good chance in play, so I think we got a chance to go back, getting him. Bam didn't travel, but did some practice, but knew he wasn't going to be fully healthy. I'm trying to think of the guys that didn't play or didn't finish, so we'll see.
What do you sense? It's 3 weeks where 3 games, the offense went better from game 1 to game 2, from game 2 to game 3. I mean, last year was sort of a little bit like this. I mean, you sense some real momentum starting to build, that the light has sort of gone on. Those guys.
No. I think
we're
getting better. I'm not, but I don't feel like, boy, we've arrived. We're going to be good. I don't know if I've ever felt that any place I've been, but yeah, we got stuff we're building on, but good offense finishes that game. Period. And we're showing signs of it at times, but and I like the guys. That is not that I'm not happy with them and appreciative of them working, and we're building on stuff, but I think there's a lot of things we can get better at.
Coach, they're getting there, right? You see that.
Yeah, they're getting there.
Because it really seems like they're taking.
Yeah, it's so
big
hard to me
steps.
because each game is so different. Who you're playing, it's so different. But yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of areas we're getting there, but we keep grinding.
But you didn't expect miracles 3 games into the season either, right? This kind of thing takes time.
Yeah, right. That'd be nice.
Coach, it seems like you have a great committee of tight ends that's taking advantage of every opportunity.
What's your thoughts on?
Yeah, I like the group, and you know, it's you know, like JP's not playing as many snaps as he did last year, but I think in many ways JP's better. You know, but I think that there is going to be some strength in numbers. You know, they're all a little bit different. And, you know, I think if you throw, you know, kind of that position group. I mean, if you put, you know, JP and Scotty, Manessa, and Jamar in it, you know, I think they can give us a lot of things. And I think for us to be as good as we're going to be this year, we're going to need all four of those guys to be big. And I think they're kind of, we're talking about, they're getting there, they're growing. I thought Jamar had some impressive plays, and then he's got a couple where he's got to, you know, you can't come in high, you can't, you know, do this, do that. So I think you can fit them all into that. But yeah, it's a fun group. I mean, and this team's been fun to be around. But we've got enough reason to keep practicing.
With the, I mean, the special teams struggles that you guys have had this year, have you thought at all about reorganizing the way you approach that from a coaching perspective, the committee approach, and maybe devoting one guy to it a little more full time?
No, I mean, if I sensed it for a second that we were shortchanging it, if we weren't looking at it, you know, now, you know, the thing that, especially in times like this, I mean, there's power in that. You got more than, you know, I've been on staffs where we've got one special team guy, and then special teams are struggling. Everyone learning. There's a bunch of guys trying to make sure and coaching it, you know. I'm not saying that, you know, the way we've got it set up is the best, and it's not, you know, we got to be better. So as coaches, you say, you know, we got to be better coaching. But I don't question that part of it right now. And it's just, you know, we've got to, you know, we've got to, the punt return, you know, we got to do a better job. You know, in our operation, you know, I think we got to get a little bit more, you know, certainly everyone, you know, when you're covering kicks, you know, the ball's got to get up in the air a little bit more. And then we had opportunities for tackles, and we had tackles, you know, and so we just got to keep working on it. I mean, those are huge plays, and we all know that. But no, I'm not second guessing the way that they're getting coached or, you know, the approach. And, there's a lot of people with vested interest there. But we've got to go do it, you know. We got to prove that.
Coach, thank you very much. ACC players were just announced. Offensive